Did a little bit more today. We'll see how he feels tomorrow, but I would say tomorrow he's questionable, probably even more doubtful than anything. Want to see if he can go a full day of practice, which would be Monday, and then we'll go from there.
Did you get a chance to read Nash's open letter?
I just did.
Okay. Thoughts?
I thought it was very sincere, and he's absolutely right about playing basketball and guarding Curry and Kyrie is totally different than swinging a golf club. Like I said the other day, I think people overreact to things a lot more with Steve because of the fact that he was brought here to help bring this team to a championship, and it didn't work out. Howard left, his back messed up. Sometimes life is funny sometimes like that. But for the people that don't know him, he's a terrific person, and he worked his butt off to try to get back to play basketball on a competitive level, and I think you have to give him credit for that. Obviously his age probably caught up to him, along with all the mileage and all the things he's done on the basketball court all those years, and it's basically, could say to this point almost, or probably has ended his career, but he's still one of the best players that's ever played this game, and I think people have to understand what he's going through from an emotional standpoint as well. It's very hard for a player, a basketball player, or any athlete to say, I can't do it anymore. You're the last one to admit that, and I think he's gotten to the point where he's probably starting to admit that he probably can't play this game at a high level anymore.
Did that letter give you kind of some insight or a sense of where he is, 2-3 weeks since making that decision?
Well, I think it's given me a little bit of insight as far as where he's probably leaning towards now. I don't think he's leaning toward trying to get back. I think he probably feels that he did everything in his power the last 2 years to get in unbelievable condition and put himself in a position where he felt he could compete again. And as we went on through training camp, through the first preseason game, and so on and so forth, the more he played and practiced, the worse it got. So obviously, it's probably nothing that he can do about that besides, try to rehab for a year and then try it again.
I don't want to turn this into like a daily update thing, but did you have a chance to talk to him? Or
No, I got it.
Did John Black give you his
number?
number?
I finally got the number yesterday.
Step one.
Yeah, step one, I got the number. Now I got to give him a call. So that's where we are.
Byron, what do you remember about when you were getting on in years in the league and the recovery time for getting ready for games and how you felt after games?
As you get older, I remember, in my 20s, it took me 3 weeks to get in unbelievable shape. When I was like 33, 34, it took me 6 weeks to get in unbelievable shape. Everything I did, I had to start earlier. And at 36, just the daily waking up and feeling the little, nagging injuries, the aches and pains, getting here or to the arena a couple of hours before practice instead of 30 minutes or 45 minutes just to get, treatment and things like that. Like I said, playing in this league and the traveling, it takes its toll. And I only played 14 years. I'm not, you're talking about a guy that's 18, 19, 20 years. I know I couldn't have done it.
Byron, there's been so much talk the last few days about, the supporting cast, so to speak, stepping up, being more assertive. Do you think it'll happen tomorrow night?
Well, I think I think our guys understand that they have to step up. I've talked to a couple of individuals about just being a little bit more assertive, not relying on Kobe as much and just, just guys taking their shots and playing their game as well, trying to give them the freedom to do that. So tomorrow's one of those days where, again, we got to come out and play extremely hard. This is not a given. Charlotte's a good basketball team. They were in the playoffs last year, so, they're looking at this probably coming in tomorrow trying to get their second straight win, where we're trying to stop the bleeding. So I really assume it's going to be a very, very competitive and physical basketball game tomorrow.
Is there any way to differentiate between other players doing more and Kobe doing less, and maybe that meaning other players asserting themselves and taking those opportunities from Kobe as opposed to expecting that he will back off and they will come to them? Does that make sense?
It makes a little sense. It makes a little sense. You know what, I think, to be honest with you, and you guys can ask Kobe this, I think he wants those guys to step up. He really does. He wants our guys to step up and take shots when they have them, not defer to him as much. Him and I talked about, I got to, remind him not to chase the ball at times, to let those guys play, because sometimes you got to let guys make mistakes as well. He tries to bail them out, at times. So, that's a habit that he has, and he knows that he has to try to break that. That's hard. He's been playing this game, and, he's one of those guys, okay, if you guys are not doing it, give it to me. I'll try to do it myself, and that's the competitive nature that he has. But he realizes that he wants to kind of step back a little bit and let guys play and let guys develop and give them that confidence of knowing that they can take. And I tell them all the time, take shots when you have shots. Drive the ball when you have a drive. Don't look to just hold the ball and, come get it, Kobe. We can't be that type team. We got to be a little bit more well-rounded.
So he does need to defer a little bit, though? Like, it is
I wouldn't even say deferred. If he's on the weak side, one thing that we talked about is, him moving without the ball a little bit more. But if he's on the weak side, not chasing it, let those guys play. And let them make mistakes if they're going to make mistakes. But if they have opportunities to shoot the ball and get to the basket, give them that opportunity and give them that chance. Because when he's on the weak side, still you got guys paying attention to him. They're not going to just turn their heads and watch everything else on the other side. They're going to make sure that Kobe's still in their sights as much as possible. So he's still drawing attention even when he doesn't have the ball.
Byron, is there a plan to regulate Kobe's minutes after he played earlier this week?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's gotten a bunch of days off the last couple of days, of practice. Today was really his first practice. Came in and got some shots up yesterday. So tomorrow we'll probably go right back to what we've been doing, because we got a game tomorrow, then we got Tuesday and Wednesday. So obviously in those 3 games, he's not going to be playing 40-something minutes.
What's the special challenges Charlotte poses for you guys, especially when talking like Jefferson, Walker, Stevenson?
Well, I mean, first of all, the last 5 games that we played, we haven't played a team that has a dominant post-up player. Our next 3 or 4 games are against teams that have dominant post-up players. So Al Jefferson presents a problem because of the fact that he can score in that box. So, Jordan Hill, Ed Davis, Robert, they're going to have their hands full. But we also got to help them. So we're not going to leave them down there on an island as much as possible. This is a more deliberate basketball team that we're playing tomorrow night, and same on Tuesday. So it's different contrasted styles, from the first 5 games to these next 3 or 4 games. So again, we just got to stick to our principles and do the things that we've been doing the last 3 or 4 days in practice and keep getting better at it.